guys, it's Shama here with Scaling Retail. We're here with Swana and Matteo, the team behind Descendant of Thieves. This company is celebrating 10 years, you guys. Started in 2009. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
I mean, so exciting. Not only do these guys have a really interesting business model, doing great business on e-comm, weekly deliveries that are popping up on e-comm and store, a growing international presence of distribution, but these guys have done an amazing thing with their brick and mortar locations. So today we're going to talk about business strategy, how to scale up, the shit that's terrifying you guys about the market, because like, I'm sure it's like every time there's like an upside, there's always like, is there a downside? You know, stuff that's keeping you up at night. So take it away, guys. Talk to me about business. Congratulations on 10 years.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, we started out doing wholesale, and we grew into, said we got to move into e-comm as soon as possible, right? And then how do we make e-comm first rather than wholesale? But wholesale was great for us in the beginning. And we put up a website, and that very night, we had our first sale.
So wow! So the very day you put up the website, you guys
we had a sale because it was in the market for enough time that people saw it and they were searching us out. So we found that wholesale was a great marketing tool for us.
Yeah, of course. Tell me about your first wholesale accounts. Like, what were they really looking to you guys for? Like, what was your platform that they were like, wow, this is amazing?
At the time, it was like a very Americana, the styling, so very checks and plaids and very simple, simplistic styling. So what we did is we built our shirts in a way that we designed from the inside out. So a lot of details on the inside, and we have our Don't Tell Mom pocket that's hidden. And but on the outside, it looked like a classic Americana shirt with all those details. And so we use that as kind of our formula, and that has continued building. So for us, it was all about these like inner details that, you know, was kind of an element of surprise from a product standpoint.
Amazing.
So,
and when you guys launched e-comm, how did you notice the changes in like who that customer was on e-comm versus like how your wholesale buyers were buying?
Yeah. You want to take that one?
I think being direct to consumer, it's a different mindset, right? They're willing to take more chances than a store. You have a little bit of a presence where it could be 3 to 4 to 5 styles in the store. Where e-comm, it's like, oh, that speaks to me. That's, you know, clothes are a reflection of how you feel that day. So the customer, we found from having the e-comm platform, was more willing to take chances than we saw in a lot of the market.
The customer's also a lot younger online than they are buying at retail.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think the guys that are a little bit older, they still like to walk in. They want to touch, they want to feel, they want to try on. And young guys, they'll order, they'll try on at home, they'll return it if they don't want it. So we found that our age is a lot younger on e-comm.
That's so fascinating. I love that. I mean, as far as like, you guys brought up a good point here, which is about returns, right? So talk to me about returns, right? I mean, returns is like such a crazy piece of the business model that I think a lot of companies just don't even think about. You know, I know a lot of denim companies have like a 50% return rate.
Wow.
I always tell people, aim for like 15%.
15's great,
as
15.
like a goal for return rates. But how do you guys manage returns?
We're at 15.
And how's that changed?
We're at 15. But I think from a product perspective, if I can talk about that, our fits are, we're very careful about fits. We don't change them. We try to get one fit and hold on to as long. So when you buy it, you know, at least you know, once you get your fit, okay, I'm a size medium. And then that helps a lot with returns, like really consistency in fit.
That's really hard to do. I mean, I've seen you know, brands that season to season, their factories are, you know, taking liberty. Right? On like,
that's great.
And you're like, okay,
that's not
what
size
grading are you using? So how have you guys worked with your factories, I guess, to make sure that
just
that
really
happens?
strict quality control for fit.
Okay.
So that has helped with returns. We've played around with avatars, using an avatar type of fit thing that helped us a little bit, but I think it wasn't that easy to get your measurements quite right, but you can see what you look like in the clothing.
Yeah, of course.
But we have pretty easy returns, like so, because I think that's part of it. We have to just bake that into our costs. you know, because it's not going to go anywhere. We just have to try to get better at 50 is a lot.
Yes.
Wow.
Don't worry, you guys are doing great.
We're pretty awesome now that I think about
You
it.
guys are doing great when it comes to that. So we talked about kind of the wholesale customer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I think it's also finding a good shipping partner and negotiating that. I think that's a good strategy to have.
Who's your shipping partner?
FedEx. And I have a great partnership that I've worked really hard to have with our sales manager and making sure, like, if something's not right, addressing it. And like, look, we're gonna go step by step, because it's also putting it in their perspective from a small business, how each dollar affects you, because they're not looking at your bottom line. So we spend, unfortunately, a lot of time going back and forth. Like, well, when I have to pay $6.50 from the warehouse, and then I have to pay $7.95 for 2-day shipping, then I get a return which is costing me $15. That's a loss. Like, so how do we work together to kind of look at those numbers? So I think it's really having those conversations too from your shipping partner's perspective of like putting it in their mindset of like, I need you to advocate for me to get me better rates.
So which one of you guys is the one putting on the boxing gloves and going after shipping? Yeah, you're like...
Good cop, bad
yeah,
cop.
does FedEx love you and hate you?
Oh,
Like, is
I'm
it
very sweet until. Okay. It's the voice. Okay. It helps.
It's the voice.
You're like, please give me this rate. I'm like,
No. It's like, look, buddy, we're going to sit down and talk about this.
It's a boxing match.
love that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I feel that shipping becomes one of those overlooked areas in business, right?
Yeah.
Where, you know, a company will say, hey, I know I need to do free shipping. I know I need to compete with some of the majors that are selling our product, right? I mean, at a certain point, you're wondering, like, okay, I'm at these, you know, other e-comm platforms, these multi-line, you know, e-comm channels, and how do I compete with them? So talk to me a little bit about diversifying your merchandising strategy between your wholesale, right? And let's introduce now your brick and mortar as well as e-comm. So now you have 3 different revenue channels, right? Talk to me about how you're looking at product from that standpoint.
Yeah, products. Okay. Here.
Good cop, bad
so-
cop. You're like, no, take it.
Yeah.
Take it.
Right.
You can tell our personality.
Totally.
So from a merchandising standpoint, we are a small batch manufacturer, so we're able to make small batches. We've really invested into a factory there that works with us exclusively, and so can do this. So we do a lot of special stuff for our store. We do a lot of special stuff for e-comm as well to keep it unique. And even the store, we have some one-of-ones.
Wow.
So we make one piece, and so we have a section in the store that's one-of-ones, and it's a little tricky with sizing. So
experimental though, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
but it's kind of like vintage shopping, where you know the size is what it is, and they're just one piece is made, and so that's been kind of.
So are you the fit model? You're like, okay, everything in one of
if
one
it doesn't sell,
fits me, and
it's mediums.
Between the both of us, we fight over samples.
I'm sure.
Like this morning.
I'm sure.
Yeah, that jacket. I'm really upset about that jacket.
That jacket looks fly on you. Yeah.
He
I'm
was
like, can I see the back of it? Yeah. Oh my god, I love it. It's beautiful.
We were going up the escalator. He's like, our jacket. And I'm like, you mean Descendant of Thieves jacket?
Yeah.
No, it's not ours. He's like, well, I need to borrow it or share it. I'm like,
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I'm being good cop right now on that one. I want to be bad cop.
So you guys have a pretty sizable booth here, right?
Yeah,
So business is good.
Business is great.
Which is like, you know, I mean, I hate to say the size of the booth is indicative of business, but it is. And, you know, when you have kind of a wide, also variety of assortment of products, right? So as you guys have been diversifying product categories, I mean, truly kind of incorporating as a lifestyle brand, right? Talk to me about like future category expansion. How are you guys looking at product development? Are you just making what you like?
Yeah, actually, it's a lot of that.
Yeah, totally.
We make what we like. Some stuff, if we wouldn't wear it, we actually. But in terms of like category expansion, I think accessories is something that we're thinking about. Sneakers or shoes is another one. I feel like clothing for us is we kind of have everything covered. We're just fine-tuning and make it tighter and better and but I think it's more accessories. Even the store, like there's a lot of opportunity for like candles and stuff like that, kind of easy stuff that we
merchandising and adding other products.
And then the big buzz kind of for us is people are asking for women's. And a lot of women are coming into our store buying our clothing or wearing. And so that's kind of a talk that we're trying to figure out as well.
I mean, the women's market, I feel like sizing is such a pain in the butt, right?
Yeah.
It's like when you think about
it's not easy.
Women's market, please don't start with pants. I'm like, that's where you get that 50% return rate, right?
Yeah.
Is when you're like talking about women's pants.
Yeah,
it's like
I can't imagine.
One of the hardest categories. So, okay, let's shift gears and talk a little bit more about kind of operations and how you guys are managing inventory, fulfillment, you know? I mean, there are so many different ways in which, and obviously the bigger the collection gets, the more of a question your inventory management really becomes.
Yes.
I feel like, product is the sexy side. Inventory management, not so sexy, but so important.
But so important. And kind of fun too, in a way, because it's difficult, right? So it's challenging. So it's
absolutely.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about your warehousing, how you're doing distribution.
So we had we have a third-party warehouse that we use.
Okay.
And it's expensive, and efficiency issues they have. And so when we picked our retail space, the criteria was to have a large basement, and for e-comm distribution. So now we've moved our entire e-comm distribution to this basement, and it really helps offset the cost of the retail shop.
It's incredible. I mean, I feel like that is a strategy that so many brands wish they could implement, you know, or be able to find that convergence of like enough space, because being in New York, right, it's it's not always easy, right, to find that right balance of space.
Right, yeah, we looked for a long time, over a year, to find the right space above, which we wanted small and more special and unique, and downstairs we needed something quite big.
Big, yeah.
So, and actually the cost of the savings that we've made almost pays for the rent. So we're almost rent free.
Wow, big secret here.
Hey.
Shoot for that, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
but I think
amazing.
we all have to think of creative ways to find ways of offsetting costs and dual uses for things, and
amazing.
we have to be creative right now.
Absolutely. So marketing strategies on the horizons. Talk to me about collaborations. Talk to me about experiential in store. What are you guys focusing and doubling down on in terms of marketing?
Yeah, collaborations. We have some stuff, really interesting stuff coming up. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, totally.
It's contractually, we can't talk about it. Huh?
We try to incorporate a lot of advocacy into our business model, a lot of give back programs. So we work with a nonprofit called Beauty for Freedom, and it creates funding for nonprofits that deal in rescue and recovery of human trafficking victims. Wow. So right now we have a sale going on where we're 15% if they use the code goes towards helping human trafficking and rehabilitation and those kind of things. So we really try to make a conscious effort, and it's not something I guess we make.
Yeah, it's not even a big marketing thing for us.
Yeah,
we do it more because and we probably should market it more. But I think people appreciate that we're authentic about it, maybe, and not.
I think it's important. The other day we were talking. One of the talks I gave was on Gen Zs, and these kids are between 4 to 24, right? So kind of this idea of like marketing to millennials is like, we're getting old, right? It's like millennials are like 39, right? And like, they're no longer the like hot shit, right? Now we're kind of like shifting gears, looking at younger generations and figuring out what's important to them, what are their values. And one of the key components that I really believe is, around authenticity, around practices around sustainability, around, what are your values, right? And how is that converging the values of your consumer, and doing give back programs, and being able to speak to that more, I think is going to become increasingly important as brands are being identified by their values and their product. I mean, it's almost harder, I think, to be a brand now because you have to stand for so much more and be so much more.
Yeah.
But it's time for that. I think fashion has kind of gotten by without having a voice when they have one of the most powerful voices. Everybody wears clothes, but yet they don't really step into that. So I think it's important to kind of advocate and find, to your point, a value and a point of reference and a view, like, to give back and do something bigger than just, you know, making clothing and doing what we love too. We have to have more.
Absolutely, and I think that people will, they value that, they appreciate that, and they become loyal, right? They're like, okay, like this is a way that I'm giving back to society at the same time. You know, so I think that's really important. Amazing. All right, guys. So, anything else that I haven't asked you that you're like, holy crap, like you need to ask me about that thing? Because I have one question that it's on the top of my mind, which really has to do with like reorders and your limited edition nature, right? So does that mean that as you guys are thinking about, you know, because of your limited edition nature, do you guys ever come out with like reorders of a product, or is it like when it's done, it's done? And
one and done. One and
done.
Yeah, we have a creative team, and you know, we just keep coming up with new ideas, and I think that's what people want anyway. Also, we have a wide selection of stuff, as you can see. Although because we do small batch, we have to do more styles.
Right.
So I think we have a really creative team that can just come up with new ideas and.
That's incredible. You know, one thing I think is so fascinating is we've been looking increasingly at the resale market, right? So companies like Goat or Grailed or StockX, and you know how we're starting to see limited edition product just really increase in value on the resale market. And so a lot of companies right now are partnering, right, with these resale platforms in order to like, hey, these are limited edition, like we're going to distribute to you guys first. Versace did something with Goat, super interesting. That having this limited, like one-time only production really lends itself also to like the rehype on the secondary market.
Yeah, in fact, being in business 10 years, we don't have an archive collection of the first collection.
Oh, wow.
We didn't think that you guys would still be buying it. So we're actually going to launch this program where we're buying back. We're trying to find people who have them, and I think it's like $1,000 to buy back.
Wow.
We need one to get that original archive set back.
Yes.
And we're fine with it being worn. It's even better, but we need it for us. So
that's amazing.
For our 10-year, we're buying back our first.
I love that,
collection.
bringing it all like full circle back to the beginning. So on the horizon, guys, as we kind of wrap up, you know, our audience here is looking for like your secrets on like what they can do at their stage of business to kind of propel themselves forward. So either words of encouragement, discouragement, which some people have had. They're like, oh shit, what are you doing in this industry? Don't do it. But what are your thoughts? How do you inspire or educate people going forward to really take their businesses from maybe a small collection to hopefully one day having a strong representation like you guys have?
I think focus. Focus and consistency. I think a lot of creative people and artists, they have so many ideas, they want to do it all, but they have to really try to stay focused on what works and pushing that forward. So maybe it's only one category or two categories and like really nail it, and then build on that. I think that's so important. And consistency, just keep showing up. And it's nice if you can get some money from.
Money's important.
If you can get some money. We're independently owned. So we went through struggles, man. You know, like we didn't accept money. We just really like stayed focused and like, let's just nail this one category. And once we did, we moved on to the next. So I think focus and consistency.
Awesome. Any parting words from you?
I think to build on that, I think by being self-funded, it helped us to build a stronger foundation. I find, you know, it's important to like kind of step back and create a savings for where you can for those rainy days. So that's something that I think we definitely learned. And every year as we grew, we would put away money, which allowed us to save to a store. So we didn't overextend. And I think that's also very important to keep in mind is like like, okay, this is where I am. I'm going to appreciate where I am, and I'm going to build the foundation around that space.
Love that.
And then continue to slowly build into different categories. We started off as shirts and polos, and then when we could add more, we did. But it was like we want to hold on to control and have our own voice, and I think it's important to keep your voice attached to your brand so that you can stay passionate about it and you can continue to do what you love when you're in that office till 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, because no one tells you that. They're like, oh, entrepreneurship, oh, it's gonna be great. You're like, it's
all right, guys,
amazing.
this shit is hard, okay?
It's hard, okay?
It's hard but fun.
Yes.
Okay, hard but a good time.
Yeah.
And if you
Hard but a good time.
And if you have a business partner, make sure they're like your best friend, because even when it's hard, because you go through those struggles with each other to build, but like you can duke it out for 5 minutes and then step away and come back and crack some jokes and continue to build.
Good teams.
Pick your partners wisely.
Yes.
Put in a lot of hours.
Yes.
Save your goddamn money and invest it when you can. And be strategic.
Yes.
Long haul consistency. All amazing advice.
And treat people how you want to be treated, because you
Hell
never
yeah.
know where someone's gonna be.
That's for damn sure. That I think is one of the best. That's one of the best parting words. All right, guys, that's all from us here at Descendant of Thieves. Thank you both so much for your time, your energy, educating myself, our audience on what to do to end up being an amazing multi-channel business, right? Wholesale, e-comm, brick and mortar, independently owned. I mean, you guys are really hitting, I think, so many different elements that many people these days are trying to figure out. So congratulations, happy 10-year anniversary.
Thank you.
All right, guys, all from me. Thanks, bye.